Should be alright, it's LED. We're shooting 100 frames a second.
Yeah, so track it with it. So they kick and simple kick to then
Good morning and welcome to Avalon Airport Oval for the final round of the NAB League Boys season. It's a triple header coming your way featuring the 6 Metropolitan Victorian sides. And boy, haven't we got some beauties. First up, the Western Jets taking on the Northern Knights. That game will be followed by the Calder Cannons and Eastern Rangers. And to round out the day, the battle for third spot on the ladder, the Sandringham Dragons will be taking on the Oakley Chargers. Pleasure to have your company. I'm Matthew Cox. Great to be back in the broadcasting position today for round 17 of the NAB League Boys. Joining me, as always, it's great to have them back. Phil Crooks and Rick Morris guiding us through the action here today. Guys, we are set for a beauty.
It should be good, Matthew. Weather fine, track good, rail in the true position. Penetrometer of 4.8. Perfect conditions here on a Saturday morning in Werribee. The little kids have been on the ground having a good Oz kick. I showed them a few things, a couple of tricks of the trade, how to balk, blind turn, and sort of kick a few lazy ones from the corner, and now back up into the commentary box. Good to see you guys again.
Hopefully we've got some vision of you balking. I'd like to see that. Rick Morris, pleasure to be with you today. It is 6th versus 7th to kick us off today with the Western Jets and the Northern Knights.
And a couple of teams we really enjoy calling. The Northern Knights, of course, where we grew up, Crooksy and myself. So we always enjoy that Preston ground. But be interesting to see them. They've got some excellent players that we'll be looking out for, and also the Western Jets, who got one of the best jumpers in the competition, the tarmac there, and looking in great touch already. They've been out warming up for quite a while now, these two teams, and look forward to a bit of a local derby.
And considering the weather that we've had in Melbourne recently, we've got a little bit of spring in the air as we head towards finals. It is the final round of the home and away season for the NAB League boys. Wild card round, though, is upon us, where sides from 3rd down to 17th on the ladder. No, sorry, 13th on the ladder. Round 17, getting my numbers mixed up. Yeah, that's a good start. From 3rd down to 13th will play off, 4th down to the 13th will play off in wildcard round. The top 3 sides will go straight through to finals in a couple of weeks' time. As we get ready to take a look at the selected sides for today's first match between the Western Jets and the Northern Knights. This game to be an absolute beauty. They're very even when it comes to positions on the ladder. And given the weather conditions, we should be in for a cracking game of footy. Rick, who are you looking forward to seeing from the Western Jets lineup?
There'll be a few from the Western Jets. Of course, Daly Andrews is one who's caught my eye over the past couple of years. Has been invited to the Rookie Me Combine and averaging 19 disposals. Ruck Rover, we'll see plenty of him today in the middle of the ground, so looking forward to see how his form is going at the minute. We've also got Darcy Casa, who's a wingman we've seen plenty of, also averaging 22 disposals this season, and part of the National Draft Combine invites, and had 3 matches with Vic Metro with averaging 16 disposals and 2 marks. So he's definitely another one. We've got Josh Honey, a rover from Keilor Maribyrnong as well, and he's another National Draft Combine type, and also son of Neil Honey, who's the Commonwealth Games pole vaulter. Neil Honey.
He was the pole vaulter.
That's right. And Josh is averaging 15 disposals as well, but one we're definitely going to keep an eye on is Emerson Jecker. Big fellow, plays centre halfback today, averaging 11 disposals, could swing forward, Vic Metro representative, National Draft Combine invite, and been likened to Wayne Carey, so not much of a tag to have over your head.
Don't put any pressure on young Emerson. For the Northern Knights, Matthew, I'm interested to have a look at their skipper, Jackson Davies, who's picked to start in the back pocket today. He's an invite to the Victorian State Draft Combine. He's averaging 19 disposals, 2 tackles, 6 marks. Josh Din Tinasante, the best and fairest winner in his bottom age year last year, for the mere fact that I can pronounce his name so brilliantly. And for us Preston boys, we remember his father and his uncle playing for the Bull Ants. And the other one is Ryan Sturgis, and hello to Craig McGaw and John Hanson, who I think a couple of mates of Rick and I who are having a listen and got an invested interest in Ryan. He's invited to the National Draft Combine, represented Vic Metro in 4 games, and he's averaging 18 disposals and 5 marks for the Knights. As the umpire is in the middle, holds the ball aloft. Round 17 action, triple header at Avalon Airport. Take it away, Rick.
Up they go, and the first tap out to the Knights, John Ev, and we've spotted a free kick early, and it'll go the Jets' way, and it'll be taken there by Honey. Man, we mentioned before, he goes very wide to the scoreboard side of the ground, and they'll boot it along the Jets down, but it'll be an intercept mark at halfback, and the Knights will be able to steady temporarily, and that'll be through Sturgis, the man we mentioned just before. Gets it off. And it's a bit of a loose ball at centre wing again, out of side. And the umpire's picked out a holding, and it'll go the Jets' way. And they'll move it on quickly towards the lead at half forward. Overcooked it. Over the back, they've got a run towards goal, but swung it around beautifully. And we've got a shot on goal from about 45 metres out. And I can't quite spot that player.
I think it's Jonah Horro.
Horro.
Lovely vision, Matthew.
Fantastic. He looked as though he was going to blaze away there, inbound from just outside the 50 arc, and at the last minute spotted Horro just all by himself, about 45 metres out from goal.
And in he comes to kick and kept it low. And the ball's thumped through, out of bounds for a throw-in. Now, there was a fair bit of dew on the ground early, so these early kicks for goal might test the hamstrings and maybe a little damp ball early.
Tad slippery. Boundary umpire comes in to throw it in. Coming a hell of a long way. He's almost up here in the box with us. In she goes. Thrown into a dangerous spot for the Knights. They'll try and clear the ball. It's a kick for the Jets and just punched through. That was Daly Andrews. First score on the board. And the Knights to bring it in back through their skipper in Davies. He spots up Carafa. Back pocket, grandstand side of the ground. They go along the line. They're looking for a mark. Beats all comers. Ball in dispute. Nice work in heavy traffic. Little kick around the corner there by Din Tinasante. Caught up on the half-forward flank here is Lucente. Goes backwards. Josh Watson on the left boot. Kicks inside 50. Chaos footy. Bouncing footy, nice lead to the ball. Sweeping handball, Lucente, and it's kicked back into goal and saving mark in the back pocket for the Jets. They bring it back to the half-back flank. Oh, up there, Kazali went before acceptances, but free kick to the Knights. And it'll be taken by Watson. Gets onto the left boot, kicks it to the hot spot, needs a big mark, can't take it, second bite of the cherry, stacks on the mill, umpire has a look, comes in and will bounce it up. We are 30 metres out from the Knights' goal. They're kicking to the southern end of the ground.
I'll tell you what, the pace is hot early, isn't it, Rick?
Excellent start by both these teams, tapped over by Kennedy. They can't quite break away, just trying to find a few feet of room. Eventually it's hooked out the back and the Jets get running through the middle of the ground, and a beautiful delivery like it was on a platter. Oh, half handball there, didn't quite work out, but they've got numbers around the ball through Faley, and this will be a mark at half forward. Lovely work. They took risks there, the Jets, but it paid off, and they'll be having a shot from 40 metres out. We've got a good handle on this one from the commentary box. And
Kennedy?
Big fella.
No, Kennedy.
This is Big Arch Manton.
Who, of course, is the son of Glenn Manton. Played 21 games for Essendon, 157 for Carlton.
Seems to have filled out a bit this year as well.
He has.
Arch, so been raps on him this year. Solid lad.
He's got the Favola drop punt grip for goal, Rick.
Okay, let's have a look if he kicks as straight as him. No, he hooked it. And through for a behind. So the Jets with two behinds, the Knights yet to score. And of course we're 4 minutes into this first quarter of a triple header here at Avalon Park Oval.
Davies brings it in, kicks to half back, comes off the hands of the pack, too close to the boundary line.
Avalon Airport Oval, that would be.
Where'd you say we were? On the tarmac at Avalon Airport.
Churnside Park as well. It's known.
Yeah, oh,
Yes,
great ground.
the traditional name of it. I'll tell you what, I did like the previous passage of play for the Western Jets coming off half back. It was a quick transition through the corridor, apart from the little fumble with the handball in the middle. But they got it inside 50 quick, unable to capitalise.
Nice chain of handballs. Knights kick to half forward. Good mark taken. Din Tinasante. Joshua spears it up forward. Can't quite hit the target. Jets have got numbers through Raak. Boundary line beats him. Over the boundary line, out of bounds. We are 45 metres around from the Knights goal.
You mentioned Josh Tinasante was the best and fairest winner at the Northern Knights last year. First middle-aged player since Brent Harvey to achieve that.
Oof. Up
Ball.
Kennedy gets it out. Jets. Quick kick forward by Horro. Lovely take on the run by Honey. Plenty of speed. Manton worked underneath the ball. Now Davies. Oh, good work by Manton. Breaks the tackle. Don't know how he got rid of it. That may have been too high. It was. And a free kick to the Western Jets. This will be, I think it's Blake. Yep, Harley Blake will take the resultant free kick. He will kick this from 46 metres out, near enough to direct in front. No breeze. Let's see how he goes. Bang. Looks all right off the boot. No, just didn't quite make the line.
They're not capitalising on their opportunities early, the Western Jets. They've missed a couple of goals where they probably should have capitalised, particularly given the pace of the game, and it's going up and down one end of the ground pretty quickly.
Out of side, Spoil lands it with the Knights, and they should be able to clear, but half a smother. Out of side, boundary side, out of bounds it goes. Just, not a lot of system in that movement, so they want to sharpen that up, the Knights boys.
I mean, the thing is,
Bit of push and shoving between the two big ruckman, Boyd and Kennedy.
There's no point in going tight and then you miss all the action.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure.
No one getting a clear tap out. Scooped up beautifully by Brandt, who goes towards centre wing. Over the top it goes. Just trying to break away. Oh, good tackling by the Jets. They just didn't relent then. And the player will be rewarded there on the outer side. And a kick by Rocky down to half forward. Still on that boundary side. Nice lead out in front, Manton. Really imposing himself on this game in the early minutes. And Archie Manton comes in from the pocket. Going to be a difficult kick, 45 out.
So you're a great technician of a kick, Rick, of the drop punt. Now, don't let me down here, Archie. No, he uses the favola. The right hand is down lower on the ball on the right-hand side. It's a good method to kick.
He's coming in, he boots it long and he's put it through. Lovely kick off the boot. Got the distance easily, and the first goal of the game, and the Jets 1-3-9, all the scoring at the minute, the Knights yet to score.
A couple of good quick stats too from early stages in this game. 8.5 minutes into it, 5 inside 50s to 3 favouring the Western Jets. They've had 22 disposals to 20, so it's fairly even around the ground. 8 marks to 4 though in favour of the Jets as well. So they're dominating possession of the footy in terms of taking grabs, and they're also getting it inside 50. They just need to capitalise, which they were finally able to do through Manton, who, as you mentioned, Crooksy, he's been prominent early in the game, in and around the contest whenever it goes forward.
Excellent, beautiful kick for goal. Up they go. No ruckman gets it, just a quick hack out. Sturgis, quick handball across to Gardner. Gardner to half forward, beaten in the race of the ball. Tackle dispossessed. Umpire says, gives him the benefit of the doubt and will throw it in. Right in front of the scoreboard, 9.5 minutes in, 1-3-9. Knights yet to register a score. Boundary umpire comes in a good distance. We have Boyd and Clark. Neither ruckman get a hand to the footy. Knights get the clearance. Hacking ball inside, but lovely mark taken there by Emerson Jecker. Jecker goes wide. Finds his man in Clark. Aaron Clark. Told to play on. Bit indecisive, not too sure. Kicks to centre wing. Man leading to the ball. Good take. That's Cootie. He goes inboard. Forward. on the left boot. Kicks inside 50. Worked underneath the ball. Comes to the back. Good work by hand. They get it across. McPherson, Ewan McPherson. Kicks out wide and Lucente marks. Half back. Ball touched off the ball. Touched off the boot. And it is over the boundary line, out of bounds, between wing and half forward, grandstand side.
So the Knights just trying to position up here in defence. The boundary umpire has come in a long way. And he'll throw it high. We're almost to the point of the square. Taken out of the ruck by Boyd. He works it forward. No clear possession, but well picked up that time through Cox. Got tackled in the back, and a man who's getting a bit of it, Watson, plays on straight away. Now they'll work it through centre half forward. Kick by Philp, gets it to full forward. Up they go, front position, they bring it to ground. Now we'll see Andrews. Clear, gets it wide to Casa. Casa goes short, kick wasn't executed too well, allows the Knights in. And they should be able to get it out with the weight of numbers. Couple of handballs over the back. And they'll move it towards centre wing to a man out in the clear. Under the scoreboard there. Out it goes. And another mark. Just getting away from us a bit here. And that kick was overcooked and out of bounds. So we're around the 50-metre mark. Northern Knights on the attack. 1-3-9 plays no score. Jets leading. And we'll have a throw in. They'll come in again. Interesting. Haven't seen them do this before.
I don't mind it though.
Do you?
I like it coming in to the corridor a bit more. Just I feel it opens space up a bit more.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that one, Matty. Good series of tackles. Eventually they'll work it to the centre wing. But again, Knights getting back with numbers. It's well done to keep it in play. But again, the execution wasn't as good. Or that was almost a volleyball tap. But eventually they'll drive it long.
Courage.
And Courage gets it further down towards Manton. Tries the juggler. Play on's a call. Again, Knights get the numbers, but Manton gets a kick, but it was smothered. They'll try and work it out of there this time through Sturgis. They've got numbers again, the Knights. They're doing this part well. Let's see how they get the kick. Just ball hung in the air and it was spoiled, and Faley picks it up. Over the back it goes, Manton takes the mark. Wasn't paid.
Too high.
Appeared to come off the defender's hand. I think he tried to suck the umpire in there.
Well, yeah, probably, but I mean, he worked hard for it.
Now, Manton's got the free.
Kicked 5 goals last week against Oakley.
I can understand why after seeing 10 minutes of footy today, Matthew.
He's been very impressive. 3 disposals, 2 kicks, 1 handball, 2 marks. But the pressure around the contest, even in that last passage of play, the kick coming out from the Northern Knights, he put the opponent under pressure. Just being in the vicinity, he's good form early today.
I'd say there'd be a little bit of with his kicking style, right to left. And there is, but it went the wrong way, too far.
1 goal, 4-10.
Perfected the Favola.
He's working on it. He's just got to get that right hand down a little bit more, but I like it. This is Ewan McPherson, brother of Darcy, son of Steve. Darcy doing well up at the Gold Coast, number 44 for the Suns. Now the skipper of the Knights got it in the heart of defensive 50. Sweeping handball to McPherson, who kicks to half-back, and he's got Sturgis. Weighs up his options. Going to go inboard. Dangerous. Now handballs over the top. Got themselves into a little bit of pressure. McPherson just gets it away. Slips catch. Oh, don't know if they'd give that one out at Lord's, Rick. This is Nicholas Cox. Cox goes inboard. Finds Sturgis. He plays on. Handballs. Getting themselves into a bit of Barney rubble here. They get it out to McPherson. On the right foot, drills a pass. Doesn't quite take the mark. Comes back, quick kick. Oh, good work. Now they're a chance through Watson. He gets collared, caught, holding the ball in the back, says the umpire. Josh Watson, the left footer, right on 50, plays on straight away, just doesn't quite hit the target. Din Tinasante driven into the dirt, that was in the back.
Finishing skills of the Knights just not quite working at the moment. They're getting enough of the ball.
Not on point, Rick, not on point. Din Tinasante goes in short and almost a slippery 2 bites of the cherry, and the mark is taken by Liam McMahon. He is going to kick this from just inside the 50. He's more or less directly in front. 16 minutes into this first quarter. The Knights could just do with a goal just to settle the nerves. McMahon comes in, casual in his approach. Kicks from inside 50, and that is all the way to the right, just sneaks in for a behind. Their first score, 1 behind the Knights. The Jets are 1 for 10.
Big jump over the back, but Jets trying to get it out in the open, but good work by the forwards there of the Northern Knights to hold them up, and we'll have a ball up at half forward, about 65 out from the Northern Knights goal. Up they go, tapped down by Kennedy, can't quite break away. He's paid holding the ball there. Good tackling that time by the ruckman, Genev. He'll get it back here. Well, they're under a fair bit of pressure. Not sure about that handball. Sort of left the hand before he thumped it. Out of bounds it went. And of course the umpire was blindsided there, so not his fault.
He's got the wind out of his sails, JJ, Julian Genev.
He's up again here and taps it to the front, but didn't get a lot on it. Again, heavy tackling underneath the pack there. Comes out to the ruckman, Kennedy. He spears it low. We've got an intercept by the Knights in the centre of the ground through Barbera.
Barbera comes out wide. He's looking for Brandt. Brandt to Boyd. Boyd plays on straight away. And the angle's tight here for me here. Right on the angle, but it picked that up on the screen, and it was Watson that missed the mark. Ball to be thrown in.
I'd say it was more the kick, Crooksy.
Yep. 60 metres around from the Knights' goal, yet to get a major. Boyd, front position, taps it to the front. Plenty of Knights jumpers here, just haven't got the pill. Jets work the ball out. They go. Now the Knights can march forward through Brandt. Famous local name out the northern suburbs area, Rick?
I think North Heidelberg.
Yeah, Puffer Brandt, I think that was. As the ball goes out wide, Jets have got it. This is Conway. Goes inboard, collared, caught high, free kick to the Jets boys. They go inboard. Mark taken by Bolkus. Plenty of left footers. Bolkus, driving kick. The big men fly. Manton. No, man in front.
Good umpiring.
He definitely had it, and
he had more of it, but he wasn't in front.
Yeah.
Now, Northern Knights, they kick out wide, looking for Brandt. Half up. Almost let rip there, Matthew. Half-hearted attempt.
It's hard
I almost
to
had
judge
another expression for it.
It's hard to judge on that free kick because he did fly early, Brandt. So the Jets boy there didn't have much option.
No, he pushed him in the back.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah. It was a Jets free kick. Ball goes forward through Brandt. The big men fly. Punched off the pack. Driving through, caught, collared, driven into the dirt. Umpire looks, tells him to play on, play on. Jets, quick hands, dangerous kick.
Get it over, get it.
And the mark is taken here by Ben Major. Major will be looking for a major. Similar position to the kick taken earlier. Ben Major. Comes in, centre forward, 50 metres out. Not the best of kicks. Plenty of jets. Ball at the front of the pack. Snap! Just through for a behind. Second one on the board for the Knights. They're 2 behinds. Jets 1-4-10. 20 and a half minutes in to this first quarter here.
Just want to mention the play there by Callett for the Jets. Didn't man the mark, went to the player and stopped that little chip over the back, forcing the Knights to have to kick from 50 there. So excellent play there by Callett. Ball comes to ground. Again, no clear possession winner, but heavy tackling underneath the commentary. And now we've got a loose ball in the middle of the ground. It's all Carafa. He's just got to pick it up, and he does. Gets it high, waited for the free kick, but play on was the call. And Watson streams towards half forward, gets it over the back towards the pocket. And there's that man Brandt again, and out of bounds it goes. Probably didn't kick it in the direction it needed. It just needed to be the top of the square, that one.
Their work in the middle of the ground to centre half forward is brilliant. It's just that entry. What do the stats tell us on the NAB League app?
Exactly that, Crooksy. 67 disposals to 53 in favour of the Knights. 9 inside 50s to 8 also in favour of the Knights. 21 marks now to the Northern Knights to 13 for the Western Jets. So it's all in their favour. They've just got to capitalise on the scoreboard.
And Watson has just done it. He's on the left foot. Nice front and square positioning, and eventually he's got a bit of a lethal left foot, this young fella.
Just about their best player at the moment, been in everything across that half-forward line.
Josh Watson gets the first, and the scoreboard reads 1-2-8 to 1-4-10. They trail by 2. 3 minutes left in the opening stanza.
So we've got myself, Matthew Cox, Phil Crooks, Rick Morris in commentary today, and it's also good to have back roaming the boundary for us, Siobhan Rowe, with an update on conditions at ground level. Welcome, Siobhan.
Thanks, boys. It's fantastic weather conditions down on the ground. The sun is shining. The ground's in perfect condition considering we've had a bit of traction with some VFL games. The game's being played at quite a furious pace down at ground level, but so far we've seen a good contest.
Good work, Siobhan. Could have been caught high there. No free kick. Knights get another clearance. It's a high ball inside, bouncing. Good smother. Lucente sees the ball safely. He's a solid citizen. James Lucente.
Like what I've seen so far.
Plenty of the footy. Good solid trunk on him. He'd make an impression on you if he ran into you. Ball to be thrown in. We're 50 metres around from the Knights' goal. And kicking to the southern or Geelong end of the ground. Oh, good work out the back. This is Gardner. Gives it back to Carafa, who kicks high. And it is smothered. Jets bring it out. And mark is taken by Nicholas Cox.
Now, I think we've got an encroachment.
Oh, we love them. I've missed those encroachments. Give me a good
over the mark,
encroachment.
and we've got a 50-metre penalty. And Cox, Nicholas Cox, 197 centimetres. Got a few tall lads out there today. He's going to kick from 15 metres out. And are we backing him in, Crooksy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, from there.
Okay. Nick Cox will kick from 15 metres out. Big fella. Comes in. And kicks through the ball and just sneaks in.
Bang.
Through for the Knights' second. They move on to 2-2-14. And now they've taken the lead over the Jets 1-4-10. And now we're approaching the 25-minute mark, which will be the end of the first quarter. So they might get a quick bounce. And that'll be nearly it.
So the Knights lead on the scoreboard by 4 points. Who's won the quarter, though, given that the Knights seem to have had a lot of possession in the back half of it, but haven't been able to do much with it?
It's a very interesting point you make there, Matthew.
I think we did touch on their finishing skills weren't up to what they need to be, and they've had a lot of the ball. So thought early in the quarter the Jets had all the play and had it in their forward line, but at the end of it, the Knights, got a lot of that ball and just didn't get it to that half forward spot quick enough.
We'll take a break here from Avalon Airport Oval and be back with the second term live through the NAB League app.
I don't know what they want to do. They want
2-2-14, the Northern Knights. They lead the Western Jets 1-4-10 at quarter time. Our first game of a triple header here at Avalon Airport Oval, featuring all 6 Vic Metro sides. Very shortly we'll get down to ground level with Siobhan Rowe, who's just hovering off the contest, if you like, just out the back of the Western Jets huddle. So we'll be getting ready to get some insights from it down at ground level. The goal kickers from the opening term for the Northern Knights, Josh Watson and Nicholas Cox. For the Western Jets, Archie Manton with their only goal. And of course you can get all your stats through the NAB League app. Download through the App Store or Google Play Store.
Now, we discovered at quarter time, we were thinking of Oscar Manton,
yes,
who's been, we thought, gee, he's been eating his vegetables. But actually it's Oscar's brother, Archie Manton.
And a solid lump of a lad. Now we'll just get the measurements here. 186 centimetres, plays a bit taller than that, and 93 kilos. So he's a solid lad, that's for sure, and uses his body and strength, and he does form a bit of danger around that forward 50, doesn't he?
Good looking full forward. And we're just waiting on Siobhan down on the ground, Matt.
I think we're almost right to cross down. Let's go down to ground level here at Avalon Airport Oval with our boundary rider for today, Siobhan Rowe.
Thanks, guys. Just having a look at the Western Jets huddle, there's a lot of enthusiasm in that particular break. We're waiting on Justin Wenke from the Northern Knights, the coach, to give us a few insights from the Knights, who rebounded quite well after a scrappy start in that quarter.
All right, we'll hold. Give us a wave as soon as you see we see Justin making his way over to you.
Took a while, didn't they, to break up there, the Knights? So some obvious setups there they're trying to get right.
And we see Justin going there. They had enough of the play during that first quarter, and probably a bit lucky for them. They just got on the scoreboard with 3 or 4 minutes to go, and that sort of made all the difference into how the quarter sort of looked. And as it is, it's 5 scoring shots to 4 in the Jets' favour. Maybe that accuracy might bite them later on, as it does in most football matches, doesn't it?
11 inside 50s to 8 from the opening term in favour of the Northern Knights. So they dominated the back end of the first quarter.
And the Jets weren't scared to take them on and go through the middle a few times.
If anything, they were hitting up their targets better every time they transitioned the ball forward.
Yeah.
I think that the Knights are just... they're lacking that little bit of confidence in their decision-making.
All right, back in second quarter action. Boyd for the Knights. Gets collared, holding the ball. Just a bit slow getting moving it on. And it'll be Kennedy for the Western Jets, who takes the free kick. He kicks to centre half forward. Beautiful lead and mark. And this is our man Saad Al Hawley. Saad Al Hawley. That was as straightforward. That was footy 101. Just take the kick out of the middle, kick it straight down the middle.
He fancies himself here. He's going to kick from 52.
No bruise here to speak of either.
So Al Hawley comes in. Bit of a hop, skip and jump. Now he comes in, kicks from 50, and that is away to the right, all the way over to the right and out of bounds on the full. The resultant free kick will go to the Northern Knights. It'll be Gardner, Carafa, I think it is, or Gardner, to bring the ball back in. They kick out wide. He hugs the line and just, they can't quite keep it in. It is over the boundary line and out of bounds. Boundary umpire to come in.
Helping the commentary team,
Good.
Bringing it in a fair way, aren't they?
They need to.
So we'll have a throw in at half forward. Jostling for position. Kennedy down the front, doing well. Now flick out the back to Faley for the Jets. Gets it down towards the forward pocket, but out in the full it goes. And the Knights will... they're just going to swap over players here to take the kit. And now they're trying to switch, and they've got the players out there to do it. They go very wide and keep moving it forward. Oh, big grab
beauty.
over the top. Beautiful mark.
Sturgis.
Open University's Player of the Day contender, Matthew.
Certainly is.
And it's centre wing. They'll drive it forward. And they've got a man on the hop. Gets inside 50. Gets all caught up. Oof. Tried to take him on, which we don't mind. And this will be a turnover to the Knights. And Gardner has it.
They're just backing themselves a little more, the Knights. Good start to this second term for them.
And he centres it, unusual. And the Jets were able to come in. But here's a shot on goal. And they'll put it through. That was Carafa. Oh, was it Dintenasante?
Great crumbing goal from Dintinasante.
It's what you want from a small forward, front and centre off the contest. Kennedy was in prime position there for the Western Jets. Couldn't get a hold of it. Came into the hands of Dintinasante, and he's able to put it through for the first in the second term. Sporting a bit of facial hair by the looks of things. Not used to seeing that from Josh.
It was
brilliant goal. Fantastic goal.
He's got the trait you want for a crumbing forward. He knows where the goals are. Ball up in the middle. Boyd slaps the ball forward, taps it to himself, tries to robe his own ruck work, but it's the Jets to get the clearance. Kicked out wide. There's another man sporting a stash. Bolkus comes up short with the kick. Stacks on the mill. And the umpire waits an eternity, comes in and will ball it up. 55 metres out from the Jets' goal. We're kicking to the southern or Geelong end of the ground. Umpire clears a path. They go, a bit of a wrestle. Jets caught underneath a few players. Good hands. They get it out to Honey. Honey kicks to the top of the square, but mark taken. Lovely mark in defence by Simonson. Charlie Simonson goes out wide. It's not clean. Jets send it back from whence it came. Double fister, and it is through for a rush behind. They move on to 1-5-11, Knights 3-2-20.
Must be something up that end of the ground, because the Jets' entry is inside 50 early in this term have been chaotic, as it was for the Northern Knights in the opening term. There's just...
Matthew, it's a perfect day for footy. So I don't know what they're doing. Beautiful work out of defence, and we find it in the hands of Kobe Brandt again. He goes short and finds Gardner. Gardner goes inboard. Beautiful delivery over to Carafa. Further afield, allows the intercept, just hung in the air a bit, and Callett with the good work there, but grubs it forward. Knights should be able to clear through McPherson. He goes wide, but doesn't quite get anything on it. Over the back, they've got numbers out the back, but over the boundary line it goes.
Knights boys happy to take on the tackler. They'll take on the contest and wear the tackle and try and break it or clear while being tackled.
They're backing themselves in more in this second term. They're more focused, and the intensity, they've taken that up a notch. So obviously those words at quarter time from Justin Winky have worked.
Over the back it goes. Oh, a bit of volleyball there, but it works out beautifully for the Knights. They get it forward. Partially smothered again. Out to the scoreboard side of the ground. Oh, high tackle that time. It'll be picked up this time through Leonard. Bailey Leonard got cleaned up there. And he'll go in short. They'll just hold it up. Philp. Is there an eye missing there, Philp?
Someone pinched it.
And he goes long to half forward. Down towards... good mark over the back, and the Jets with numbers again, just holding them up. And a long lead brought to ground. Fumble allowed the tackle. Good intercept again, but the Knights get numbers out the back and move it forward. This time over towards half forward. Good spoil, brings it to ground. They're all sorts of trouble here with the defenders of the Jets, getting back in numbers, just holding up that play. But here come the Knights. They didn't want any bar of that, and they've managed to win a free kick out of it. Really good play by the forwards defensively there.
Jets have lost their composure. The pressure on them in this second term is immense.
Boyd kicks forward. Oh, look at that. Third in line, Liam McMahon. Goes over the top. They're going to waltz in Josh Tinasante, and he's got their fourth. They move on to 4-26 to the Jets, 1-5-11, approaching 8 minutes in to this second term.
bit of a breakneck speed at the minute, isn't it, this game? And the Knights looking on top just as we speak, but still can't pick a winner at this stage. The Jets just need to steady a bit and start using the footy a bit cleaner.
Siobhan, down on the rotations, down on the interchange, we think the game's being played at breakneck speed. Is it showing up on the interchange bench? No, not picking me up.
Must have gone to get a coffee.
Could do.
I'll have one with sugar, thanks, Siobhan. Leading possession getters on the ground so far, 11 touches.
Yep, 1-2.
Rance, Sturgis with 10. So Northern Knights dominating up the top end of the stats sheet.
Out they come through Gardner. Gardner kicks inside 50. Oh, nice little fist put in there to hold up the ball. They've slipped. They've created the turnover, the Knights. Jets desperate in defence, trying to get the ball out or kill it. They're on top of it. Play on, play on, play on. Ball kicked off the carpet. Mark taken by Bolkus. He gets it away quickly. Ball scrambling to half forward. Everything done under pressure. Casa gets it back. They're slipping over the Jetta boys. Sloppy footy. Watson reaches in, gets it. Quick kick by the Knights. And Mark just spilt. They ran into it. That could have been in the back. Umpire won't have a bar of it. Right in front of us here in the comm box. Siobhan, you felt that one?
For sure. You mentioned before the interchanges. There's certainly quite a few as the game is being played at a furious pace. As you guys mentioned before, Justin Wenke certainly took a long time with his players, and I think one of the main messages he would have told them was to use the ball a lot better, and they've certainly done that in the second quarter.
There's that man who does it well, Watson. Gets it down towards half forward. Again, Dintena Sente in amongst it. Flicks it out. Major gets caught up. And we'll have a ball up. We're half forward, Northern Knights attacking. Jets trying to hold on here. Get it to the feet. There's a free kick picked out, and this time it'll go to Watson again. Let's watch his kicking style here, off the set kick. And he kicks long, I like it. Down towards half forward, big thump by the Jets defender to Kennedy. Gives it out the back that time to Daly Andrews. And the spear kick over the line that time was a bit off the radar. And we've got it in the hands of McPherson. Ewan goes short. He kept it up high, but good grab by Major. Has good arm extension, and he goes to half forward, out in front, juggling attempt. Not quite. Oh, Knights forwards are been really impressive this quarter. Really harassing hard. Oh, that was a high contact. Play on's a call. That kick's just kicked straight out of bounds on the full. So the Knights will have another shot. Will kick it inside 50 at least.
Couldn't kick that any straighter out at the full, Rick.
Yeah, I don't know where he was going. But a nice lead inside 50, and this time it's with Gardner. He's having a good quarter.
We just saw that kick from the Jets. They're just trying to release the pressure in any way they can. The Northern Knights have really done well. They were on top at the back end of that first quarter, but not really doing anything with it. This quarter, they're switched on.
Defensive play's been terrific from the Knights.
Right behind this one, Gardner kicks. Will it hold its line? It won't. Drops in the square. Dintena Sante. He is on fire, young Joshua. He's having a great day here at Avalon Airport Oval. That's his third goal
in the quarter.
In the quarter, it's the Knights' fifth. They move on to 5-2-32, putting a little gap in the scoreboard to the Jets 1-5-11, 12 and a half minutes into the second term.
It was just smart play by Dintena Sante. Then he just went to the spot it was going to go to if it was fisted. They fisted it forward. He went there. Simple goal.
It's his 14th.
Game's not that tactical, Matthew.
No.
It's not that complex.
No.
It's a simple game.
It is.
Made complex by other people.
Dintena Sante, it's his 14th game of the season. Now he's up to 25 goals for the year. A Vic State Draft Combine invite has gone his way, and you can see why, given what he's able to do inside 50, especially hovering around that goal square.
Speaking of Josh Dinton-Asante, he certainly brings a lot of energy to the group. The Knights players are certainly up and about watching him kick his wonderful goals in this quarter.
Now it's out to Casa on the burst, kicks it up and under towards the pocket. A one-on-one, bit of holding, and the umpire was onto it. And it looks like Manton again.
Who was on fire in the forward line for the Jets in the first quarter. So let's see if he can regain
Got
some
a bit
momentum.
of confidence about him, hasn't he?
He
This
has.
lad? I like it.
Not that his father didn't have much confidence, Rick Crikey.
He's a bit of an alternative type.
He was a
his
bit.
Dad, Glenn.
Yeah. Fell out of love with his father.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't mind him at Essendon, wasn't over keen on him at Carlton.
Bit of bias.
So here we go with Archie Manton kicking from the pocket. 35 out, kicks very wide, and maybe some through from behind. So they're now 20 points behind. Knights doing most of it at the moment. And that was nicely done out the back. And Trudgeon takes it, a half-back. He goes back inboard. He's got the loose man in Phil. Wanted to link over the top, but was a bit risky. So they go wider afield. Again, now they're starting to hit targets, the Northern Knights. Good to see. And they're only chipping it around, 14-metre passes. Now we've got a few arms pointing, but they've decided to go long down the line. Over the back, they can't quite bring it in. Kick towards 50, a one-on-one here. Just went over the back again. They're working it clear. This is dangerous. They slapped it towards the boundary line, but it's still in play. Oh. It's still very dangerous. And we've got a shot on goal from the 10-metre mark again. And it's another one. This time it looks like Lucente. And he did well. He backed himself, kept paddling it towards himself, got to the top of the square and put it in right through the middle. And are they on fire, the Northern Knights? 6-2-38 to the Jets, 1-6-12.
As we watch the replay, this is a clubhouse leader for the Open University's Plays of the Day. The follow-up by Lucente, that little deft tap there, worked his way through traffic, and was he happy with his efforts? Good work.
Skillful play, wasn't it?
And not to take anything away from Lucente, but guess who was waiting at the top of the goal square?
Dinton-Asante.
Geez, they've got some live wires in that forward 10-15 metre area, the Northern Knights.
Boyd gets the tap out. Jets should get the clearance. Ball in dispute. Umpire will come in and tackle. 6-2-38. Plays 1-6-12. 16 and a half minutes into the second term. Third quarter, we're going to be joined by Kevin Sheehan. Kevin Shifter Sheehan, the godfather of under-18 footy in Australia. Looking forward to picking his brain as Simonson goes forward. Knights relentless in attack. Boyd, the big fella, has just drifted down in the ruck. He's tall, Rick, 198.
I'll tell you the other thing I like about him. He's the only player, I think, out there, with his socks pulled all the way up. Good old-fashioned footballer.
Good work.
I like it. Like that, Matthew.
Keeps your calves warm. Jack Boyd, he's going to kick this from 45 metres out, near enough to directly in front. Let's rip. It's going to it's just got over the line. It has. Here's another one to the Knighters. They are on fire. 7-2, 44 to 1-6-12. They are 32 points up. Almost 18 minutes into this second term.
5-0 in this second term, the way of the Northern Knights. They've got on top. They've ridden the wave coming out of the first quarter. They've been more precise, been using the ball more efficiently going forward of centre. It's been good to watch. Good footy from the Northern Knights. The Western Jets, they just need to claw one back before we head into the half-time break to keep themselves in the contest.
Back in the middle, the two ruckmen go again, and Boyd putting his stamp on the game. They get it out. Brandt trying to work it out of there. Again, the Knights with numbers. Flip out the back to Simonson, who goes wide. Out in front, delivered it perfectly to Gardner. He'll play on and kick to a lead, and it was nicely taken out in front that time by Cox. Around the forward 50, too far out, but he runs to 50. Boots it with a bit of a hook on it.
Oh, hello.
Gets it towards goal and gets it all the way. And that was an Open University play of the day, that's for sure. And Cox finishing it off beautifully for his second. And the Knights running away with this second quarter. 1-6-12, the Jets, the Knights 8-2-50. And we are 19 minutes in with 6 minutes to play.
Just the approach from the Northern Knights in this second term. I don't think he would have had that shot opening quarter.
No. He would have tried to pass it off. Yeah.
Yep, he backed himself in then. He's just riding this wave of momentum that the Northern Knights have got. It's getting to the point where you'd be almost pressing the panic button for the Western Jets.
Well, Jets kicked the first goal of the match. That's 8 unanswered goals. I've had this feeling before about a week ago. I went to a football match and saw how this plays out. It's not much chop. As the Jets get the clearance, they kick out wide. Trying to work the ball forward there is Bolkus. Flips a little handball out to Ford. It comes back to Callett. Callett kicks to centre half forward. Bouncing footy. Nice relieving kick by the Northern Knights. They kick out wide. Davies. He's got Lucente to help. They grab it, work their way through heavy traffic, go inboard to Carafa. He releases by hand. They go inboard to Ewan McPherson. McPherson, between wing and half back, decides to go out wide to Lucente. Lucente, that's a nothing kick. Doesn't hit the target. Stacks on the mill. And the umpire won't be able to separate them. They'll come in and ball this up. 20 and a half minutes in, second term, 38 points the difference.
The Jets bench down on ground level are certainly a bit shocked. I don't think they expected the Knights to come out and pile on so many goals in a row, but the Knights certainly on top and the Jets bench feeling that at the moment.
Siobhan Rowe on the boundary. Ball comes out. They just will the ball forward here, Northern. In dispute, rugby type. And the umpire will come in and ball this up. We're back into the centre circle. 6 goals unanswered in the second term to the Northern Knights. Carafa gets it out by hand. Goes inboard. Philp puts in a little dinky one, but doesn't hit the target, and it's Callett. Callett switches play. Nice mark taken by Bolkus. Bolkus goes inboard. Ford. Ford drives it, but it's an intercept mark by Ewan McPherson. McPherson goes out wide. Knights through Barbera. He's got Sturgis. He goes inboard. They drive through the corridor. They're looking for Boyd. He can't take it. Intercept. Callett. Handballs backwards. Jecker. That was Asefsky. Goes out wide for the Jets. They're on the outer wing. Scrubby old kick. That's going to get intercepted. Carafa drives long. Slips catch. Dropped. Works back into it. Gets onto his right boot and Lucente marks. Inside 50. He looks up. Gives the ball.
A little bit of Richmond about how the Knights are going at it a minute, isn't there?
Just giving it a bit of a polish.
He's just dried the TW in his jersey. He's got Barbera all by himself there for a bit, but Lucente fancies his chances.
Hannah Barbera?
Yeah, that's what I was going to run with, Rick. Barbera, he goes in short, streaming past. That was in the back umpire. Just missed it. Oh, solid. Trying to get the ball out. Caught, slung out. Pinball football. And the umpire will throw this up. Minute and a half to go, yes, Matthew?
Just being notified of a change in jumper for number 24. It's not Ben Major running around out there as we've hit the woodwork for the Northern Knights. Liam Kohler coming into the side very late, making his debut as a 17-year-old today for the Northern Knights.
All right.
Nice size about him too, Kohler, hasn't he? Doing quite well there on the forward line. And the Jets will boot it long. And a nice mark out the back. Is that Jekka by the look of it?
Say so.
And he kicks it, definitely Wayne Carey-like there. Gets it out towards centre wing. They've got a couple here to back themselves up here, the Jets, and try and get out of there. Didn't quite happen. He is a nice type, Jekka. Liking him. Just needs to get a bit more of the ball. Now they're trying to work it out again, the Jets, but out of bounds it goes. Just near the scoreboard, outer wing. Been a fair bit of play over there today. Now we've got Kennedy up against McMahon this time. Throws McMahon down, and they're giving Kennedy the free kick. Gee. He spears it inside, but too many Knighters. They get it out. And there's a free kick awarded, but play on was the call. Advantage, advantage, advantage. Sturgis gets it over to Brandt. And that one was around his ankles, and out of bounds it went.
It never ceases to amaze me when a team's on top, they seem to have twice as many players on the ground as the opposition. There's Knights jumpers everywhere when the contests are, where the ball is.
They're just working hard.
So at half-time, a huge quarter by the Knights, 8-3-51, lead the Jets 1-6-12. And I suppose the key player in that quarter was Josh Dintenasente with 3 goals in that quarter.
Could have had 4. He was the last scorer there with the behind.
The stats tell us anything quickly, Matthew?
Well, nothing that we don't already know, given that they are dominating the inside 50s, 22-15, disposals 153 to 100, marks 50 to 25. Hit-outs going the other way, 12-9 in favour of the Western Jets. At half-time, it's the Northern Knights in full control. They are 8-3-51, leading the Jets 1-6-12. We'll take a break in this round 17 NAB League Boys triple header from the Avalon Airport Oval.
Right, okay, I don't know who you probably should go upstairs. We should do champion data stats.
Welcome back to Avalon Airport Oval. It is the first of the triple header Metro games today, the Jets and the Knights half-time. It has been all Northern Knights 8-3-51. The Western Jets 1-6-12, 39-point deficit ahead of the Jets. In the second half, Phil Crooks joined by Rick Morris, and we're joined by a young fellow, Kevin Shifter Sheehan. How are you, Shifter?
Phil, Rick, great to be with you guys, and what a day for footy, hey? Maybe it's the end of winter. We're finally seeing dry conditions and perfect for a triple header, showcasing the best NAB League players from metropolitan Melbourne. Of course, Country Day tomorrow as the NAB League heads to Bendigo.
It does, Kev. Let me ask you off the top, the ladder. 6 of the top 7 spots held by Metro teams. Is that a quirk of fate? What's the story there? What's happening there?
Well, I think it's pretty tight, despite, that's the way it sits. It's still pretty tight. And very excitingly, as we get going here in the third quarter, next weekend, the top 3 will get a spell, and the other 10 will play a crossover round, a wild card round, if you like. So the other 10 sides for the final 5 spots in the 8 for the week after. So innovative as the NAB League is, and designed to give everyone the chance to get that feel of finals pressure. And that's what will happen next weekend with that special wild card round of footy.
And to get all those guys with clipboards and deck chairs over there, everyone gets another look at them.
Oh, yeah. And there'll be plenty here. Look, just in the stand below where we are now, there were dozens. So they all take up their own spots. There's a few hundred scouts every weekend right round the country. Maybe there's 100 allocated to Victoria.
Okay.
But expect that about that number might well be here today, having a very hard look at some of the best young talent in the nation.
There's quite a lot out there today, isn't there, Kevin? Especially for the Knights. We've got quite a few of their better performed players that are state and national draft invites.
Yeah, you've got Ryan Sturgis just over the ball now, the number 11. Played well today too. He's a boy that's so composed down back. Makes good decisions with a foot. He's a nice sized young fella at about 188, 189. So they're the sort of types of boys that you can see, you can picture getting up into the AFL. So the clubs are having a very good hard look at, I'd reckon, about 50 players today. Just flicking through my notes here, you just see the ones marked in red. You guys can see it, the highlighted ones. They're the best of the 18-year-olds and the 17-year-olds. Importantly, I'm looking at the 17-year-olds particularly today, because grand final day on the G will have the best 48 in the nation playing.
Okay.
So what a reward for a young fella to be announced in the next 10 days or so as a part of that Futures grand final day celebration of footy. Last year it was Nick Revolt versus Jim Bartell.
It was.
They named them after the retiring greats. The same thing will occur this year, and some very lucky 17-year-olds will get that chance to really sniff the MCG on grand final day.
Now, just something we don't see too often in NAB League footy, we've got a report, Josh Watson there, didn't see the incident, I saw nothing, and gone in the book there. So they've driven it forward there, the Jets, through Fairley, and they're just trying to back it out there, and we're about 25 metres out from goal, so play stop there for that report.
So that'll be exciting for them on grand final day, Kev, to be playing on the MCG as a 17-year-old.
Yeah, that's automatic entry into the expanded NAB AFL Academy too. So those 48 boys will all be part of summer camps as well, in one of 5 hubs around Australia. So it's all part of the modern day pathway, giving youngsters around the nation the chance to really get a sense of what's required to make it into the AFL. So this Futures game is the setup of their big year, their draft year.
Looks like that report was a dangerous tackle, so...
To the old sling one.
Yeah, went to ground. They're just underneath us at the moment with the 2 big ruckmen going at it again. And Boyd showing a bit of strength in this last half hour. And the Knights on the burst, get it out through Howard, get it down towards full forward. This is a dangerous ball. They're whacking it towards the pocket and trying to keep it in, the Knights, but out of bounds it went.
Just a quick update, that dangerous tackle was unfortunately involved Kobe Brandt from the Northern Knights, number 37, who's now off the ground, was escorted off, sucking in some deep breaths and pointing at his left shoulder. So we hope that dangerous tackle didn't do any damage to his shoulder.
Okay.
All right, Jets just trying to clear out. They've got some numbers in defensive 50. They release it out to half-back, close to the boundary line. They keep it in through Reynolds. Got underneath the footy, couldn't take it. Gardner. Again, the Jets try to go with it, run with it, take on the tackler and loses it. Giving the ball back straight away. It'll end up with Heath Ramshaw. Solid. Kicks close to the boundary line. Taken by Barbera. Goes inboard. They square it into the middle of the ground. Sturgis Does the old give and get. Flips it over the top. Shot at goal. And it is across for a behind. How have you seen the class of 2019, Kev, as we enter into where there's a lot more, obviously guys like us are focused on it all year, but now the whole system starts to have a look at this.
It does, yeah. Decision time's not too far away. Draft day, if you like. So the clubs that now start to sum it all up. I think it's a normal year. That's the best way to describe it. It's not an average year. It's never average. It's far better than average.
Yeah.
It's a normal draft year where you've got some great players up front, and then you've got some terrific depth. We will test 200, about 198 in fact, that have been invited either to our national combine, that's the one that'll run for 4 days, the longest job interview in the world, we call it, as they go over every single thing about the main players of the draft. Then we've got our state combines, another 120 odd players in that. So they're the 200 that have been identified. There's some from a little bit from left field, you'd call them, I suppose, draft bolters in our national combine. Sam Phillips, one of those out here today, the number 13 for the Knights, didn't play national 18s. Okay, the other one's Cooper Sharman playing for Oakley a bit later in the day, a boy from Baldwin coming up through Rodney Eads' club there, playing seconds at Baldwin early in the year, and now he's lobbed on the big stage in amongst the 79 boys currently invited to our national combine. So it's quite an amazing change of fate for the boy from Leeton that's drifted down to Deakin Uni and ended up
doing that.
Well, in June he's playing at Baldwin.
And I noted, I think Cal Toomey's got him in his draft guide in the top 30, so there's a tick.
There you go. So they're two boys that we'd call the bolters that are playing here today that have made it right in there. All the other boys are either in the national under 18s or were injured and would have played in it, so they're on that clear radar. I think the mid-season draft's taken a lot away the VFL type play. A lot of those were grabbed then. They might go as rookies rather than in the national draft, by the way we're looking at it, because not one of them has been invited to the national combine in October.
Now, Kev, you might not want to comment on this, but is 1-2 sealed for next year?
Well, it never is for me. You know, if you're talking about the boys, Rowell and Anderson playing here later today, it's never over till the moment they call their names out on the day. There's many famous moments in history they'll recall at a draft, and Buddy Franklin and Jared Ruffhead, as we talk a bit about those boys at the moment. Those decisions were made on the morning of the draft to go with the two tall. They thought they were getting the bookends, the centre back in Ruffhead, the centre forward in Franklin. They changed their mind from the smaller, quicker player on the morning. So things aren't locked in stone until the names are called out. We love the speculation, all the talks, this and that, but there's some very, very good players around that sometimes wait until grand final day in the state league to really show us their absolute talent. Look at the history of this comp. Brent Harvey, these sorts of boys. Dale Thomas, best on the ground in grand finals.
Still side bottom.
Still side bottom. Adam Goods kicked 6. Wait until the last game's played. You might just change your mind for the better. And so don't lock it in too early until you have.
For us old blokes going back too far, you only have to go back a couple of years to Brian Myers.
Yeah.
Now, how was his grand final for Geelong when they won it?
And look at 7, didn't he?
Goes in the 40s, in the 40s in the draft. So don't jump too early, because boys are still unfolding. They're still developing. Nat Fyfe, another one. He played in the Nationals for WA. By the time the Colts grand final in WA was on, he kicked 6 in that grand final. He loved the pressure and he grew in confidence. He's getting a wee bit stronger. He was just a lightly built kid then. So don't jump too early. We're only in August. We want to keep watching these boys, including this young fella.
Oh, I like him. Jacker.
Yeah, so we've seen him start this game playing in defence, now pushing forward. A very talented boy. He's 197 centimetres, not yet 18 till September. So there's massive maturation to take place, both physically,
but he's
as
very
well as
mobile
learning of the
too,
game. So he's a lovely size player, but he might have the absolute breakout game, and then you say, wow, I'm going to back myself to take this guy as the next tall defender or tall forward at that size in the AFL.
So he's 197 centimetres, mobile, strong, can mark. He's the perfect footballer when you look at it, isn't he?
Yeah, and he just had a few setbacks with injuries this year. Had a knee back in April that cost him 4 or 5 weeks, so was underdone for Nationals. Now he'll get a good run at it, hopefully over the next month, and we'll just see how he ends his year. But yeah, a very promising type of player.
Now the Knights have got some space through the middle. And that's moved forward by Gardner. Big crashing pack. We're right on the point of the square, but eventually they'll get it out and clear it to Andrews. He doesn't get it. Oh, Gardner, bit of shimmy. Gets around, but does too much. The water boy got in the way there, and I think they're going to get a free kick for it. The Knights waterman. And, yep, that was the free kick. Got right in the middle of that.
He's shepherding, was he? He jumped in for a shepherd.
I think he's a
an old mate of ours too.
popular Knights man, that's for sure.
Be with him forever.
But here they go again, the Knights, through that man, Phillip. They get it out wide. They've attacked that place in this quarter, but that's gone out in the full.
What about last year? We had the King twins. We had some good key forwards, and we had like Rankin going from South Australia and so on. What's the makeup of the top, the first rounders this year? Have we got another few centre half forwards or key position players? Or I
think it's going to be a midfield group.
A midfield group.
Midfield. I can see some. I can see a couple of tools. Fisher Mackenzie, a boy that you'll see again today. Sandringham boy might well be up in the top 10, I would think. Hayden Young will play tomorrow. Dandenong Stingrays. He'd be a boy taken pretty early. A kid called Luke Jackson from WA really impressed me in Nationals. He's a ruckman. Yep. He's your Brodie Grundy type. Hunts the footy. 12 months ago he's in Argentina, player for Australia in basketball in the World Championship, so he's the boy that switched. We always got the one that switched, and you keep watching his development. He's been great over in WA since the Nationals. He was runner-up at the Lark Medal in the National Championships. I think he'd be the first, no doubt the first of the ruckman taken. So, but I think generally it might be a midfield group early.
Is everyone trying to find the next Patrick Cripps? Is that the prototype midfielder they want?
Well,
yeah, I suppose everyone.
They're rare as hen's teeth, aren't they? Although you got the Bond and Pelly, you're looking for the 193, 4, 5 centimetre player that can play midfield. Nat Fyfe, those sorts of boys.
Superman,
pretty rare. Yeah, they are. They can win it in every position, play 8, 10 spots out in the ground. So. And remember with Bontempelli, he was a Northern Knights boy, like these lads out here. It was this time of the year he took off. Yep. The Nationals are over and he got back to this level. And for the last month, he is averaging close to 40 disposals. And everyone was coming to watch him. He took off in this back half of the year, grew in confidence, self-confidence, having matched up against the best kids in Australia in the Nationals. Didn't dominate that, but dominated once he got back to the Knights late in his draft year.
Gee, that was a great take. We'll get back to that in a minute, but nice take out in front that time by, that was Howard for the Knights, and he centred it to Boyd, who's having a good game. Now, what are we going to do with the 200-centimetre players going forward, Kevin? We've had a couple of number ones over the years, but...
and we've got a big ruckman retiring this next weekend in Aaron Sandilands. Is there still going to be room for a giant?
Geez, I hope so. It's a challenge for the game, really, at the minute, because there's not fistful coming through of these taller guys.
Exactly.
They do need time, and
well, that's the big thing.
No one's got any time.
I know.
They don't put them in straight away, do they?
No, they're going to have to do their time learning the game in state leagues. Hopefully they get drafted and then start to unfold. Yep. Look at big Sammy Hayes, a boy from the Eastern Ranges, drafted maybe at 38 there a couple of years ago, did an ACL. He's now back and playing some very solid footy in the Sandful, part of Port Adelaide's list, of course. Hasn't debuted as yet, but he's not that far away. But we're now 3 years into his AFL career.
Exactly.
Turning 21 this year, probably. And
we saw a lot of Hayes, and he looks an AFL type, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is.
Hope he gets an opportunity soon.
Yeah, and you look at boys like Todd Marshall, a boy from the Murray Bush. He's now at Port Adelaide playing centre half forward. This would be his third year in as well, and still hasn't got to 20 games, but now it's starting to come together. Yep. A kid called Peter Laddams there at Port Adelaide as well. Only less than 15 games probably, and starting to unfold. So, we want those tall boys in the system, preferably on an AFL list, but if not, they're going to have to keep working through the state leagues to get their opportunity. The game needs them.
Well, as Manton gets worked underneath the ball, the Jets just through from behind. If you look at a player at Essendon like Sam Draper, Now, there's not as many spots, but if you put yourself in the right spot at the right time, I don't know if what the offer for St Kilda was true or not, but if not, he still became a wanted man, and he hasn't played footy yet.
That's right. Signed an extension, didn't he? I think we read that in the last
during the week. So
and he's had an injury as well. So they're that keen to get them. We've seen Big Dawson Simpson announce his retirement. In 12 years, surprisingly, in the system. He's played about nearly 50 games in that time. And he was a giant of a young man at this age, and it did take him a while to get through and to play. So I suppose the message is for the tall guys, you're just beginning your journey, just keep in there and keep pushing through, playing well, if not drafted in the state league system, because the game will need you. We need the bigger players. Most clubs have got 3 on their list, and eventually there will be more like Sandilands that retire, and they're going to find replacements, so those chances will come if they don't come immediately.
With the combine, Kev, what is, from your recollection, has anyone rocketed up the list or maybe rocketed down the list for any specific area?
There'd be plenty like that. So you look at what they're looking for is something special. What separates you from the other players? And it might be a speed. It might be the 2K where you show how good an athlete you are, an absolute running machine. What's your point of difference? Andrew Gaff, for instance, a brilliant runner. So he was 3Ks in his day and he won that. So you could just see the elite attribute that he had of just being that running machine, and that's what you see now from week to week with the West Coast Eagles, up and down the wing. His work rate is enormous, so they're just looking for a point of difference basically, and that even might just come in the interview when you're tucked away in a super box there with a coach asking you the difficult questions and you handle them like a veteran. You think on your feet. That's why you play in such a composed manner out in the ground. That's just all part of the puzzle as the clubs try and conclude which one they'll go with. Should they have 2 or 3 available, their choice 10, which one, if they're there, and they then adjust their boards as a result of just those inputs, whether it be athletically, at interview, the medicals may tell them something. It could even be the psychomotor results where they get in there and they've got to show what their peripheral vision, their reaction time, all those things are like when compared with the other elite young fellas from right around the nation. So there are lots of components to it, but certainly the match analysis, the way they've played the game in the previous 2 to 3 years is the major part of the assessment. That'll be 80% of it, and the 20% would be what happens at combine time.
There's Jekka. Mark right on the goal line. Jets should get their second goal.
I like his penetration with the kicking, Jekka. Really kicks it low and hard, and got it to the line then, and they've kicked a goal through.
That's the
Manton.
second.
That's Big Archie, the son of Glenn Manton. We've seen at AFL level for some very exciting games over many years, didn't we? He's had a fair bit of the ball, man, but he sprayed him early, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had probably 4 chances early. Big-bodied boy, uses his frame well to position. Strong set of hands and a nice finish then.
Putting you on the spot here, Kevin, without having to nominate a 1 and 2, is there a one player that you really like as a player that stands, you just keeps grabbing your attention?
You've had your eye for a few
Is that one player that you really like watching?
Fella today, okay, we'll just we'll push through and just Fisher Mackesy. We'll go to Sandy a bit later in the day.
Yeah.
The key forward or defender, all Australian centre back. He's picked forward today, can play at either end of the ground. Just watch his aerial work. Just love his courage in the air. I think he's the best tall player in the draft. So we're talking about a 195 centimetre guy that is a one grabber and a swing man as well. Yeah. So we know about Rowell and Anderson. They'll have the ball today. They'll play to the normal level. Their level of consistency is quite amazing. They're exciting players, the pair, but Mackesy's the one that's the taller boy that really has been on the move with the way he played nationals, and look forward to seeing him over the next month as well.
Would you liken him to anyone in the AFL? Is he who's a swingman? I always think I think he might be playing his 100th game for Brisbane. McStay is a guy that sort of goes back and forward, coming through. Is it that kind of...
Well, he's more like Nick Revolt, the way he takes it at the highest point and the way he backs back. Just his shape. He's not the broader guy. He's the more lighter built, athletic player that can play either end of the ground. Nick, of course, played centre half back in his underage years before becoming the forward. So with many of these boys, like Jacker here at the minute, you're not quite sure how it'll unfold. Like Jared Ruffhead so many years ago, is the centre half back to become the forward. So it's all to still unfold as to where these boys are best placed. And sometimes the great kicks, who are forwards at under 18 level, become the defenders at AFL level because of that kicking skill to set the play up from down in defence.
Well, I reckon Darcy Moore played a lot forward for Oakley.
Yep.
I remember him playing full back on Paddy McCartan down at Geelong. We called that game. Then he goes forward for Collingwood, and now, when fit, when playing, he's one of the best centre half backs in the game.
Yep. So
the other one that comes to mind for me is Mitch Lewis, who, from our eyes, was a bit, 50-50. A forward pocket player, didn't really excel, to that level for the Cannons. Was a good player for the Cannons, but not to what we're seeing right now, where he's virtually retired Jared Ruffhead.
He was excellent for Assumption. He
did kick a lot of goals for Assumption, but at NAB level, he wasn't, the real standout. But now he's looking like a real key forward.
Might have been last pick in the draft too, I think.
Yeah,
pretty close
to it. Well, he was in the 70s somewhere.
Yeah. But we're crystal balling. The people that are the scouts are crystal balling. They're trying to picture how these boys are going to look in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
And some will be very prominent early next year. They're the midfielders. But the taller ones, it will be 3 to 4 years' time before they'll start to show their wares at the AFL level.
So Casa has it on the 50 in defence. He's a name that's been brought up a bit.
Darcy Casso, one that we've seen play both back and forward, prolific ball winner at his very best. He links up really well, good user of the footy.
Just underneath us here, we've got a pack of players forming. And 21 plays 59, so still an advantage to the Knights. Jets seem to be having more of a go this quarter, that's for sure. And Kennedy gets it down, but still too many Knights, and Watson, almost the best player on the ground at the moment, gets it down forward. And Sturgis has been moved forward by the look of it. Gets it to Gardner, who's had a good game also, kicks it to the top spot.
Mark Dintinasante.
Somehow squeezed between players and took the mark. Is there anything this lad can't do at the moment? Kicking goals, going for his 4th here. And Josh Dintinasante, 177 centimetres. And he's going to kick from 20 metres out. Not much of an angle. I'd be writing this one down. So he comes in, perfect day for footy here at Avalon Airport Oval. Dintinasante comes in and kicks truly through the middle, 4th goal. Takes him on to 10-5, 65 to 2-9-21. See another name that you've got marked down there, Ewan McPherson.
Yeah, as son of Steve McPherson.
Yeah. And Darcy's
brother, and he's a boy that's 17 years of age, so certainly a contender for that futures game.
Bit different to Darcy.
Well,
Darcy was a very confident. We knew Darcy pretty well. He was a very confident young fellow, Darcy, and doing a good job at the Suns.
Yeah, and young Ewan's compact player, prolific ball winner, like his brother. Steve was a great player for the Western Bulldogs, of course. Now, some of the other 17-year-olds, Nicholas Cox is an interesting one, the 23. You see him kick from outside 50 there at one stage. A great goal. He's a very exciting player. His father was Darryl Cox, who played
for Fitzroy.
Yeah, correct.
Melbourne, I think.
And Melbourne, and he was a mercurial type of player too, Darryl Cox. So this boy is
actually he's built
ability.
like him. He's built similar, isn't he? Yeah.
It's a mercurial ability. Love watching him play, so watching him closely. There's a boy, Liam McMahon, the number 40 for the Knights, up forward again at 17 years of age. Like some of the work that he's done today. Mobile, good overhead. Again, a lightly built youngster that would have a terrific upside. Eddie Ford, the number 3 for the Western Jets. promising half forward that's in that 17-year-old bracket. And that's the beauty of today. We've got 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, a couple of 19-year-olds as well, spread across the two teams, right across the whole day, as we try and make some judgments as to who the next future stars will be in the AFL.
Three-quarter time, it is the Knights 10-5-65 to the Western Jets 2-9-21. Thanks, Kevin Shifter Sheehan, for joining us again. Love catching up and getting all the latest stuff. We look forward to that under-17 game on Grand Final Day. Well, that is thrilling, absolutely thrilling for them. Good work, Kev. Enjoy the rest of the season.
I certainly will enjoy the rest of the day here today, then up to Bendigo tomorrow for a triple header again, all in the NAB League in this new format.
Good work. Three-quarter time, we'll be back on the other side of the break with the final quarter, and Siobhan will be talking to Ryan O'Keefe for the Western Jets.
Thanks, Spencer. I'm down on the ground with the coach of the Western Jets, Ryan O'Keefe. Ryan, you started the game really well, but the last 2 quarters have gone the way of the Northern Knights.
Yeah, look, we've had the second quarter. We just let it have a run on. They kicked about 6 goals in a row. We just didn't do anything about it. We lost it around the contest. We didn't want to defend, so they got a heap of uncontested marks, and then it just snowballed from there. So, yeah, it's pretty disappointing that we sort of let them have that run on, and the game was over in a 10 minutes patch.
Outside of improved ball use, what was your message to the boys for the last quarter?
Let's just get back to basics. It's all we've sort of gone away from our fundamentals of how we wanted to play. Players started to play a little bit individually, so it's a team game, and we've got to just make sure we stick to our team philosophy and team structures.
Darcy Cassar and your captain Lucas Rochi played really well in those 3 quarters. Who else has really impressed you today?
A couple of guys that have sort of been around the mark, like Cody Rock and stuff like that. So look, yeah, it's been very thin in terms of good players today.
Thanks for your time.
No worries.
Good work, Siobhan. And interesting fact to come back with, Rick. Whack your headset on so you can hear us. Interesting fact, Matthew. Thanks to an old mate of ours, Anthony Stangitz. Just messaged Matthew.
He did, and Dinton Asante now up to 26 goals this season. He now trails Manton by 1 on the goal-kicking ladder in the NAB League Boys for 2019.
There you go.
It's a little bit of extra...
Good little competition going on here.
We have a game
spice.
within a game.
Yeah, something to look forward to in the final quarter.
All right, 44 points the difference here at Avalon Airport Oval. 1 quarter to go. This will be followed by the Calder Cannons and the Eastern Rangers. Take it away, Rick.
Up the big fellas go, and Kennedy got a hand on it, but no clear possession yet. But until now, with Ramshaw barging through, kicks it towards half forward, and they should be able to make something of this forward attack here, the Knights. Working through Sturgis down the middle. And now we're in the pocket, and we've found Davies, Kobe Davies, who will kick from 50 and centre it. He centred it more in hope than anything, and the Jets with numbers should be able to clear. They do, with a series of hand passes, and there's another one. He went without it, and just that fatal error sees the Knights come back into it and get a high tackle. Just overusing it there, and Trudgeon will get it. And if you go without the handball, a 2 metre handball, you should be taking it and running.
Correct.
Fumbles can be really costly and cause injuries too. Trudgeon to kick from 40 metres out on a bit of an angle, and he hooks it left, bit of an awkward kick, and through for a behind. 66 to 21. All Knights today. And let's see if the Jets can muster something up in this final quarter. They'll work it through a handball to Crimmins, who goes long over the back. Jekka brings it down. Again, great tackling by the Northern Knights today. Coaches have got the message through thick and thin. Very clear message to tackle in numbers, and that's been the order of the day. Boyd's done well in the ruck, as he does again, but the Jets have roved it to him and get it down under us, and it'll be an intercept mark again through Barbera, who goes through the middle. He's got a man there in Ramshaw, kicks long. Oh, well judged mark there. Beautifully done by Sturgis, who runs to 50,
Tell you what.
boots it very long, but just left. I like the boot. Showing his versatility too.
Very, very, very good. Ryan Sturgis, very impressive. That kick had a bit on it too, Rick. That was good length. The Jets bring it out to half back. The big men fly, no one take it. Knights come up with the footy. Handball it out wide, collared on the boundary line. Of course, what this does do is that the Jets was sixth on the ladder, and the Knights was 7th. This is going to swap it round, which may not seem a lot to anyone, but that gives the Knights, they play the 11th team in the wildcard round.
believe
not
it.
even trying to work that
Now, well, I
out.
was going to throw to you to explain to the good folk at home the wild card round, Rick.
Not my strong point, I'm afraid.
Well, one of my favourite expressions in footy is mathematically possible. So it's mathematically possible to win the wooden spoon and the premiership in the 1 year under this system.
And it's mathematically impossible for us to calculate anything here in the commentary box.
There's that man Sturgis again on centre wing. And he kicks long to a contest, favours the Jets, but the Knights got back and they did well that time. Oh, great smother. Good smother that time, just held them up. Jets again should clear if they use it right. They've had to go all the way back to the goal square and kick under pressure. And they bring it to ground, 50 metres out. Knights still working hard to keep it in their forward line, and we'll have a ball up. Now, I think from memory last year, Calder Cannons made the finals from the wild card round, didn't they?
Other way around, Geelong Falcons got over the line just.
That's right.
And then the Northern Knights got belted by the GWV Rebels.
So we had two teams from outside the 8 that actually made the final from that wild card round. Honey on the burst, 3 bounces. I like his work today. I'd like to see him jump for a mark. He might be a bit of a leaper, I'd imagine. But
He might be
his dad being a pole vaulter.
He would too.
Neil Barry's
Neil-
brother, wasn't he?
Must have been.
Yeah, I think he was. From St Gabriel's back in the day.
In Reservoir.
Long jumper at the Olympic Games, Gary Honey.
Yep.
Ran second.
Might be-
Got won the silver too.
There is the connection.
To Carl
Carl
Lewis.
Lewis.
They
If you're
bothered-
going to run second to someone, you might as well make it a good one.
That's exactly right. So the ball's in dispute. We've got a holding here, and this time the Jets will get a goal out of this, 20 metres out directly in front.
This is Nash Reynolds. He was held on. Had his arm pulled out of his socket.
So Reynolds will get a much needed goal, you'd think. Taking his time about it.
Kicking to the southern or Geelong end of the ground.
Comes in, and as soon as you give him a rap,
Put the moz on him.
missed it. Maybe took too long, Crooksy.
Davies brings the ball back in for Northern Knights, looking for McPherson. Bit laconic in the approach, but takes the footy. He spots up Bailey Leonard on half back. He goes inboard to Din Tinasante. Bit of the sting got out of the game. They go out wide. This is Cox. Carafa. Centre wing. Watson. Umming-ahhing, told to play on. Drops it to the heart of 50. Ball bounces inside, wrapped in a tackle, going nowhere, and the umpire will come in and toss this up 40 metres out from the Knights' goal. They're going to the Northern or City Melbourne end of the ground with the Werribee Town Centre. Quick kick out from goal. Mark spilt by Sturgis. Work towards the boundary line, and there's a whistle that is out of bounds, forward pocket. Maybe 20, 25 metres around from the Knights' goal. We are 7 minutes into this last quarter, 67 plays 22.
Perfect day considering the weather we've had over the last few weeks.
lovely.
Hasn't stopped raining really, has it, in Melbourne?
No.
Overnight especially.
Just good to see some blue sky and the sunshine out.
Yeah.
Dare I mention September?
You may, as the ball goes forward, overrun. Knights at the back. Gardner wheels around onto the right. Deep kick up forward. The big men fly. Sturgis claims a mark. He would have been the third bloke to touch it on its way down. But not worth having. It's worth having a crack. Ball gets kicked out. Watson marks on his Pat Malone. Top of the 50. He's got a man in the pocket. They fly, and good defensive mark for the Jets. Might have a bit of cramp or a hammy. And this is Cootie. Cootie goes out wide. Might have been interfered. Challenge of the arms, and that's going to go to Aaron Clark on the half-back flank, Rick.
So Clark will boot it long towards the wing. Big pack of players, all good leaps too, but it was shark by Faley. He gets it around, gives it off to Jecker, who gets tackled, and he's ran into
the ball.
Trouble. Don't know if it was a little high. A bit hard to gauge from there. The umpire was closer to that one.
A little bit of feeling.
So, is that Watson again?
Yep.
Gee, he's having a ripper of a game. Gets it down. Oh, nice sticky hands there. Is that Cox by the look of it?
No, Boyd.
Or Boyd. Both tall lads. He'll kick long. Up they go. Up goes Sturgis. Juggles the mark, but play on was the call from behind. Not so sure of that. Like a replay of that one.
I reckon that was a mark.
So you mentioned Watson, Rick, 19 touches he's had today. That's equal leader on the ground with Ryan Sturgis.
That was an out-and-out mark, that.
Yeah, he's the only one to get the mitts on that
well
one.
done to our camera people. Now they'll bang it back inside 50. And that's a juggling mark.
Oh, it's just about to say, umpire, please. There's Jack
paid
Dyer.
over
Josh Dintinasante. He's having a day out. The reigning Brent Harvey medalist at the Northern Knights.
Yeah, let's just watch this one.
There's a mark.
And the decision was a mark by the look of it.
Josh has how many on the board? 4?
Going for his 5th.
And this to tie up the goal kicking in NAB League at this point of the season.
Do you reckon he knows?
He'll say no, but they all do. Josh Dintinasante comes in and he's just missed it. Just missed it. 10-8-68 to 2-10-22 as the Knights bring it back in, and the mark is taken by Cody Raak. Raak gets it forward to Cousins.
Bright boots.
His short kick. Just the desired distance. They kick to centre wing. And free kick is going to go to...
No, he marked it. He was underneath it.
Jackson Davies.
Strong mark by Davies. And he gets his man and hits up Kohler, who goes towards that 50, but nice pick up that time. Looked like Rochi. And strong tackling, brings it to ground, and we'll have a ball up. Grandstand side of Avalon Airport Oval. Up they go again. Faeli grabs it, kicks it, half kicks it, and there's Honey on the burst, gets it out, but no one's there. Not enough support. He gets it back. He better kick it quickly, and he does. Kicks it to the 50. Bit of a push out, but play on's the call. McPherson gets grabbed. Didn't have it that time, and the umpire's onto that. Not happy with that one.
No, I'm happy. He's just a couple letting the game go.
There's Kohler again. Good size.
Oh,
straight into trouble there. That was Ramshaw. It's rebounded, and the Jets will have a shot on goal this time.
That's like walking into a telephone pole when you're not paying attention, walking down the street.
Texting someone.
Did not see that coming one iota, did he?
You spotted it.
He was taking an Instagram at the time.
That is the best way to
Kaplunk.
I think it's Snapchat now, Rick.
Okay. So the player that we've got lining up, I think it's Clifford, is it? We'll get him on the
Conway, I think.
Yeah, it's Conway, and he goes just right.
See, their accuracies killed them too, as you know, apart from the Knights.
Exactly.
2-11. thought
Been a week of low scores, hasn't it? The last fortnight at least.
has been for a few teams.
Just imagine if they'd kicked a couple of goals when they had momentum early in the first quarter, how different the game might have been.
Unfolded.
And they have missed several set shots. They haven't all been under pressure. And this time the Knights pump it forward. Sturgis just crashes the back, and player there copped it pretty hard, and that was Shahid. So we're just stopping play for the moment.
Has the book come out?
It has. I don't think you'll have too much to worry about.
He's attacked it pretty hard, but
He's going for the mark.
going for the mark. He could get the 3 votes also, so this will be interesting.
For the
What
Morris
happens
medal.
there?
I'll let Matthew,
Here's
you've got the special comments, guy.
Here's a replay of it.
Just a bit late, that's all I would say.
Which can get you into trouble in those situations. The timing of it. That's my special
I'll
comment.
say-
Brooksy.
No worries.
I'll say he'll get off there, Matt.
They're all good. The important thing is they're all up and playing again. Jets go out wide, and Mark Spilt dribbles over the boundary line out of bounds. 14 minutes into the final term. Of course, this game for the Knights have got a kick. Following this, the Calder Cannons taking on the top of the table Eastern Rangers.
How many people would have predicted that at the start of the year, the Eastern Rangers to be sitting on top?
Not me. As they go forward, and
Howard just trying to stick the boot out there for a bit of...
Yeah, I think we've got a wrong name for that 46.
yeah, I don't think
It's not 198 centimetres.
Ball to be thrown in. He looks out of place on the ground with a boundary
Yeah,
umpire. Can't
definitely.
get used to that. Pulls up a little bit short anyway. Now the Knights dispossessed. It's chased after. Jets got plenty of numbers. They work it by hand wide. Kick to centre wing. McPherson falls over. Inopportune time. Bolkus gets it and he's off to the races. Long kick. Inside 50. Manton over the back. Worked himself goal side. Gets it. Caught in the tackle. Shrugs it. And then he's wrapped up again and it's holding the ball. But well done, Archie, anyway, mate. You gave it a good crack. I like it.
Couldn't do much else. He tried to use his strength. And,
Yep.
it was just a great tackle overall from Simonson.
Good defence by Charlie as well. Good football all round. He's going to get 50 metres, which will bring him up. Plays on straight away. Got a man on the lead. Nice take there.
House.
He gets it out wide. They kick long and the mark is taken there by Brandt. Kobe Brandt goes inboard. Now they go kick inside 50. Play on quickly. Long kick at goal. We're in towards the goal square. Worked underneath across the face. And that is... Where's the umpire running in going like that, Rick?
Deliberate.
Gets the kick. They kick to the top of the square. The big men fly. No mark taken. Drag to the ground. Ball up, Matt.
Dinton Asante was incredibly smart there. He was running in for that contest looking as if he was going to take the mark. At the last minute pulled out of it and was able to lay the tackle on because he kept his feet on the ground.
His feet.
Very smart decision making there by Josh Dinton Asante.
Quick kick at goal. Oh, goal line. Jets play on straight away by hand. They kick across goal. This is Asefsky. Kicks to half back. Lovely mark by Honey. Got a bit of height. Yep. Got it up across the crossbar. Honey. That's a dirty big up and under. The big men fly. McPherson punches from the back. Watson on top of it. Can't quite get it out. Now they do by hand. Close to the boundary. They keep the ball in. Going to send it back. Honey works it forward. The ball is loose. Big Jack Boyd goes through. Carafa. They get it by hand. Hot footy. Caught tackle. Ends up in the hands of Honey again. Now they're in the middle of the ground. They kick it out wide. McPherson, first one there. Gets the handball across. Nice blind turn. Good work by Barbera. Kicks it into the centre. Now they're off and running. Northern Knights kick to half forward. Mark. Yep. Chopped his arms, and Brant will take the kick, Rick.
So Brant's almost at half forward, and he'll chip it wide. And couldn't quite get it there, Leonard. Out of bounds it goes. Some nice gum trees out to the outer side, isn't there?
Perfect. Is that the snow gum on the 50-metre line, Rick?
Ghost gum.
Ghost gum, that's it. Ghost gum.
Just behind the armchair experts, the clipboarders out there.
A few out there, yep. Sunbaking today. No clear tap out there, but there was a hold picked out.
Yeah, off the ball, the umpire, or the non-officiating umpire, picked that free kick out. Well adjudicated.
So Kennedy been in a lot of the play, the ruckman. Looking to
50 metres encroachment.
So Kennedy is now moving up past the centre of the ground, and he goes to a lead. Good thump away. Now they've got a chance. Little chip over the top, and their man is there. And this time it's with Clark, Aaron Clark, 194 centimetres, big lad. Going to kick from 40 metres out directly in front. So Clark kicks a bit right. And how many set shots have they missed today? That might be on the agenda at the next training session.
For the wildcard round game, they're going to need a bit of set shot kicking. Be a tough place to... do they train at Williamstown's ground? They do. That'd be a dodgy place just during the week to kick for goal.
Down to Oval.
With the sea breeze especially.
Oh, Knights play on quickly. Just lose the footing and can't keep it in. Kassar. Ball to be thrown in the shadows of the post. 20 minutes into this last quarter. Northern Knights can have a nice, comfortable victory leading into wildcard round. And for them, hopefully a good September. Been a while between good Septembers for the Knights. As Boyd gets it and kicks it high, long, handsome, ball at the front. Jets clear it into the middle of the ground. Oh, just gets the bounce. Good work. Long kick up forward. They're looking for Manton, and they've got him. Now Archie could win the goal kicking with this, couldn't he?
Yeah,
because I'm assuming the goal kick. No.
Okay. So
not everyone's playing.
Yeah. Okay.
So Archie Manton could win the goal kicking with this. It'll put him 2 ahead.
It will. 28 goals for the season if he slots it.
Manton.
He's had a few shots today too.
I like. He's got that Favola grip. It's good. Just needs to get that right hand working well. Poor, worked well that time. Good on you, Archie. Good goal. That's the Jets' third. 3 goals, 12-30 to the Knights, 10-8-68, 21 and a half minutes into this last quarter.
2 goals, 2 he's kicked today. Oh, sorry, 3 goals, 2 he's kicked today. Archie.
He's kicked the score. He's kicked all their goals. Well done, Archie. Good work. He's your old-fashioned full forward, Rick.
Yeah, he's uses his body a lot. Likes to get in the one-on-one contest and out-muscle his full-back.
Seems pretty mobile too.
Yeah.
Got a bit of pace.
Well, he's not that tall. He's, what is he, 186?
Yep. 93.
186, but 93 kilos gives him a bit of an advantage, especially at this level. And the umpire's going to ping him. Outer side of the ground, Jets to attack again. Maybe a couple of late goals coming up here for the Jets. You like them, Crooksy, the late goal?
No, don't. Don't like them. I understand them, I just don't like them.
Would you be disappointed if you're a Knights fan and you'd taken the foot off the throttle in this final term?
Not really. It doesn't. There's no consequence to this now.
That's
another one.
Beautiful kick. That's the goal of the day, that one. Kicked it from the boundary, just on the 50 almost.
Aaron Clark.
And that was a beautiful kick for goal all the way.
Still reckon Lucenti's goal...
Where he paddled the ball along the boundary. That was my Open University's goal of the day. No, I think the Knights, they'd be happy. And there's the only consequence here, whoever won this game was going to go up to 6th or finish 6th, and they've done the job well.
What about percentage? Does it matter today?
No. They're another game clear of 5th, so they can't go any higher. They've achieved the job at hand. They've played well, the Knights.
The Knights' percentage was better than the Jets by about 4%, 5%.
Ball in the middle. Lucente couldn't find the handle. Now it comes out. Little flicking handball. Watson, he's been superb. They've got the Jets under pressure. Honey just fends off, gets out wide, and a stretching mark there by Nash Reynolds. Reynolds goes long, intercept mark by the skipper in Davies. He goes inboard to Watson, who just hangs onto it. And that is all she wrote. 10-8-68 to the Western Jets. 4 goals, 12-36 for the Jets. Manton kicked 3 and Clark kicked 1. Did that without looking. For the Northern Knights.
Have another crack, Crooksy. Go
No,
on.
I can't
if you
do
can
that.
get four goals to Josh Dintinasante, 2 goals to Nick Cox, and then singles to James Lucente, Jack Boyd, and Sam House.
And Josh Watson.
Josh Watson.
As they go out, we're sending Siobhan Rowe out there with the camera. She's going to have a chat to a couple of players. Siobhan, you got who you got picked out?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have a chat to Ryan Sturgis. He had a fantastic game today, taking 14 marks.
Right.
So certainly the general in the back line. So I'll keep an eye out for him and grab him for an interview.
Definitely, and if the clipboard people over the outer side are listening, I've given Sturgis best on ground with Watson second best and Dintinasante the 1 vote. So they keep an eye on those 3.
He changed the game, didn't he, Josh Dintinasante, in that second quarter where he was a live wire in the goal square, kicked 3 of his goals in the second term. I think he changed the game, he set it up, and from there was no way back for the Western Jets.
That's a good point, Matt, because that second quarter they were dynamic, but I think the coaches really set up well there at the Knights and got them in that frame of mind where they were just going to harass every contest, and they did that in that second quarter, and it continued on through the game. So it was more of a team. I mentioned earlier it was Richmond-like, and down to Siobhan at ground level.
I'm down on the ground with Ryan Sturgis. There was a fantastic performance from the Knights, especially in the second quarter when you piled on 6 goals. What was Justin's message at quarter time?
Yeah, I think we probably just lost a bit of shape, and around the quarter they sort of jumped us early, and we were in hitting the areas that we wanted to hit that we mentioned pre-game. So yeah, I think we just got back to a little bit of contest stuff and win out in the middle, and then our backs, we came back and really helped and supported each other. We know they were really good on transition, so we just wanted to shut that down.
You had a great game today, taking 14 marks. Do you see your role as more of that intercept marker in the back line?
Oh, yeah, not necessarily. Just ability to go sort of forward or back, just whatever the team sort of wants me to. Like, we've got a heap of boys, Ewan McPherson, Jacko Davies, all able to intercept marks. So, yeah, I'm just happy to play my role.
Pretty exciting watching Josh Dintinasante in that forward line, isn't he?
Yeah, he's super. He just pops up all the time. I don't know whether he kicked 5 or something today, but yeah, he gets around himself when he does kick a goal. But no, it's super for the team.
and you finished 6th on the ladder at the end of the home and away season. You got wildcard round next week. How do you guys prepare for the wildcard round?
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, we had the 2 weeks off just to rest and get the bodies right again, and then coming off the loss, we wanted to get back to good stuff today. So that's just our motto the next few weeks: make good things happen, and whoever we play, we'll just come in with a good mindset and hopefully take away a win and go deeper in finals.
Congratulations on the win today, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much to Siobhan Rowe down there speaking with Ryan Sturgis from the Northern Knights. We're going to take a break here from Avalon Airport Oval. The second match of our triple header coming your way next. It's the Calder Cannons taking on the top of the table, Eastern Rangers. That's coming for you live through the NAB League app.